Hey YouTube. So this video today is a little different. It's sort of like my annual gardening videos that I try to put up. I love to do hydroponic gardening because it's so easy and you get such good results. And after working in the mud all the years that I did doing heavy construction and all, I just don't like working in dirt anymore. So I found a happy spot working with hydroponics. So anyway, what we got here is, if you have watched any of my other videos, you know, and I'll just show you here quick, you know that there's still snow here, okay, obviously. So it's March, I believe St. Patty's Day, and I have a little bit of a mess here I want to clean up, because what was happening here was during the winter time we have containers on these shelves that grow lettuce for us, and I just cleaned them off of there this morning. And all year round we have lettuce growing in here so that we can have fresh lettuce. And the lettuce that I've been growing, I'll just show you some seeds here. Now these are from Burpee, and I bought Burpee seeds last year, so I'll use some of them this year, but I'm not a fan of Burpee. I actually like Johnny Seeds. I forget the name of the company exactly, but it's Johnny something or other seed company. But anyway, forgetting the name Burpee, we can go right to the thing here. Lettuce, this Simpson Elite, really grows nice, and what happens is, now these are the dead pots that we just took out. But I started growing these in, let's see, this was November, October, because it was cold already. And we had fresh lettuce from about 6 of these cups, okay? We had fresh lettuce every day for probably, I think it was the beginning of February where they started to die out, because they were just exhausted from producing all that time, I would imagine. But anyway, so you're October, November, December, January, February, you're looking at 5 months worth of lettuce. And all I did was mix up 7 gallons of chemicals, throw them in a container, which is one of these containers right here, and it made lettuce, like I say, for 5 months. But anyway, I just sort of want to show you the little setup that we have here. And all we're doing here today is getting ready for the greenhouse by planting our seeds in here now, so that we have at least a couple months. You figure March and April and May, because you really, where we live, the end of May is the only time when you really plant outside that you can trust it because of the frost. So what we do is we start our seeds inside, and just to give an example, like this is just made out of 1x12 pine boards. All I did was notch the uprights out with a router and just made some nice shelves, and they're 4 feet wide, so that's plenty wide enough to put the planting things on that you're going to see as soon as we get to them here today. So it's just a 4 foot by 12 inch wide boards, you know, put onto the uprights, and then I hung lights. Now there's a big grow light I have hanging from the ceiling, and then there's one here, and a lot of people ask what kind of bulbs I use, so there it is. Okay, it says it's a GE, and I don't care about the brand, but T8 Star Code ECO. I don't know what the rest of those numbers are, but 32 watts Sunshine. Okay, Sunshine, 5000K, whatever that is. Regardless, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 in each one of them. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 of them. Now, in the winter time, up at the house that I'm building, for those of you who watch my channel, I'm building another house, and all of the different paint cans I had to bring down from up there because I didn't want to heat the place during the winter time. So that's why these paint cans are here. But now that spring is coming, we'll slowly start putting stuff back where it belongs for the rest of summer. so that we can work, because I'm going to be doing a lot of work on the house this year since I've cut all the red oak that I have. I need to start using it because I'm running out of space really bad. Alright, so then some of the other things you'll need here, just to give you an example, you need seeds, okay? And like I say, I recommend you get them from Johnny Seed Company. These are burpee, and one of the things I did not like was on my sales receipt when I saw my bill for buying seeds, it said that I'm not allowed to sell the produce I grow. Unless I read it wrong somehow, that sounds utterly ridiculous to me. But regardless, I don't have a lot of good luck with burpee like I did the Johnny seeds, but this is what I have right now. And since I was a little late in getting started, because we usually start in February and leave them growing here for a couple months, but yeah, by the time these things grow in February, for us now, this is about, I don't know, from here to the light's about 14 inches. And whatever plants I plant in the seed starters will be transplanted into cups, just regular cups that you drink beer out of, like this, or water or whatever during your parties. And I'll fill these shells with cups and let them grow. And they usually grow up to the lights here, and right about the time that I can put them outside. So anyway, get yourself seeds, and like I say, I recommend Johnny Seeds. But whatever you know works good. I mean, I don't get any money from anybody for anything. I just am telling you what I got here. So try Johnny Seeds. But for me, I like this Simpson Elite, but it doesn't matter as long as it's Simpson that that you grow to be able to have the lettuce for an extended time. Okay, so anyway, you got the shelves, you got the lights, and I bought this stuff at Lowe's. I bought these boards. Unfortunately, I didn't have the wood at the time. I didn't have the mill, which I have now, so I can build hundreds of these things if I want. But anyway, 1 by 12, the light fixtures, okay, with the 4 gang lights on them. You can see them up there. But the light fixtures, and I hung them up there. And let me get a tape, and so I can give you exact measurements of what I got here. Okay, so I have a tape. So what we're looking at here is the space between the shelves, like from one shelf to the other, is 20 inches, okay? And then I have off the shelf, I have the light fixture at 12 inches. So that gives you some room to work there. Now, you do want to make sure, it's hanging there, you do want to make sure you make this thing wide enough that the lights fit in there good. So, in reality, you can see this thing's 54 inches wide, not 4 feet. If you make it 4 feet wide, you can barely get the light fixtures in there. See how close? These are exactly 4 feet. You can't even get the light fixture in if it's 4 foot. And I know because I built one in a greenhouse that's been in there for a while, and I had to abandon it because I couldn't get the gosh darn lights in. I never even thought about the lights being too wide, but this one's nice. So 54 inches wide, 20 inches, like I have the first one there. Just bear with me, guys. I never claim to be an expert with videos, but I do a lot of stuff. The whole height of this thing is 6 foot, okay? So that means that these sideboards right here are 6 foot long. The first shelf is 10 inches off the ground. That gives you a little bit of space to put stuff under here if you want to. It makes it a little easier for us to sit on a stool at our age and work with the different containers once we start going here. But anyway, like I say, it's the first one there is 10 inches off the ground, then you have 20 inches basically between them, okay? And that gives you enough then for the light fixture to hang down a little bit, plus to grow the things that you want to grow there, and in the seed or in the cups and that once you get going. Okay, so you have the measurements for the shelves, and that's, like I said, made out of 1 by 12 from that you can get at Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever, wherever lumber place is. Now, these are the starting trays we use. I don't see a brand name on here, and I'm not sure what the brand name actually is. They may be burpee, I'm not sure, but I like this particular style. And let me just set the camera here and I'll show you why I like this. Alright, first of all, these are pretty rigid. There's no holes in it, they hold water. And they're not like the really flimsy kind, like the black, like these black seed containers here. You know, this is really flimsy stuff. It's not like that. This is a little bit more rigid. So the way that these work is you put this in, and then you put these in, okay? And what I like about this is the part I like, is this thing. There's this cloth. My wife just washed these, and that's to clean them up. These are old, they're not new. You put this cloth in here, and what happens is you put water underneath. The water gets sucked up into this cloth, and it pulls it all along through here and feeds the plants. But it doesn't give them so much water that they're drowning. That's part of what I think that's a key to this, is to not have the little seedlings drowning in water when you're trying to get them started. So anyway, we'll fill that thing up to this black, we'll fill it up to this black fabric with water, just plain water, and we'll put these on top. Very simple. And then what I do is, and I gotta see if you can see this, I got these things off of Amazon. They're 1 inch by 1 inch seed starters. Okay, this is, what do they call this? Gordon AOK 1 by 1 sheet of seed starters. So this is some kind of felt or something, and you know, I don't know exactly what it's made out of, but what I do know is you just break them off. There's a hole in them for the seed. Just be a little bit sort of careful with them and stick them in there. Now, you can buy, sometimes they don't have 1 inch by 1 inch, sometimes they have like the 1¼ inch ones. And if you get the 1¼ inch ones, sometimes what happens is they're stuck in there so hard, because you want this to be at the bottom of the tray so it gets water, that you can barely get them out of there. So I would go for the 1 inch ones, because with the 1 inch ones, once the plant gets big enough, you can literally pull on the plant a little bit to help get it started, or you know, push up from the bottom. But that's all I'm doing with those. Is just, I'm going to take these felt things, and that's what they feel like, felt, and I'm just going to take these and I'm going to put them in all of the containers there. Okay? Now you can take these and break them off like I have been there, but sometimes you lose the hole because, you know, like you can see there, it's breaking off kind of crooked. So one of the other things you can do is, if you cut them, they actually come a little nicer. You just cut right along the edge of where they are. And we have two-handed, so I got to pick them up. But anyway, if you take these, then once they're cut, you can break them apart, or if you're trying to keep them really nice, you can just cut them apart and then just stick them into the holes.
Hi, I'd like to show you what we do with our planting. What we have here are the burpee seed cups, and we have 36 of them on this sheet, and we have 36 on the other sheet. And what we do is we take our little seed and we put it right in the middle of the cup where the opening is, so that it can have a good start. What they also have is water down here that they can get their drinks. Now here I have some masking tape that my husband had in his automotive and I'm using. So we put it on the bottom here and we stick it around the side so that we have a way of identifying what's growing in here, and at the end of the season, oops, at the end of the season we will be able to remove it and make use of this next year.
Yeah, we found that when the seedlings are really small, they all have like two leaf petals, and it makes it hard to identify what they are when they're small. And we actually transplant some of the stuff when it's very small into other cups.
And we do that by using tweezers, because you can't hold them in your fingers, they're so small.
Okay, so then when it comes time to put the seeds in, I have some seeds sitting on one of the shelves. We use a pair of tweezers because, you know, when you get to be our age, your fingers are a little less, have a little less dexterity. But what we do here is take the one end of the tweezers and just make sure there's a positive hole there that you can drop the seed into. All we're doing is just sticking it into the felt to make sure that there's a hole. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll take a seed. Okay, this is peppers, so we'll take a pepper seed and drop it in, and then I'll just work my way. And there's holes in these. This one needs a hole better. I'll work my way back, and then we'll label that as far as what it is. So this first row of 6 is going to be a candy apple hybrid sweet pepper. And we don't have to write all of that in there, because really we don't care what brand or type they are as long as they grow. So that's what we're really after. And so I don't know if you can see that, but the seeds are just in there.
Dropped in.
Yeah. And it's hard for me to work at the same level Sally does, so I'm going to move these up a little bit here for you, and then she's going to label that. So since we're going to have, we have 10 buckets, hydroponic buckets. So these have 6 in a row, so we want to have at least 12 of each thing in case 2 of them fail or whatever. We always have 1 extra or something, or 2 extra. So we're going to put peppers in these first 2 here, and we're going to also go to tomatoes then. Peppers and tomatoes is what we want the most of, because we can can the peppers or the tomatoes and make all kinds of stuff out of it.
Here we go. We have some sweet peppers that we're planting, and they are in these first 2 sections. The first one, which there are 6 of, are candy apple, a hybrid sweet pepper. The second one, next row, would be the emerald giant green peppers. So I'm going to label them so that we don't get mixed up. Here we have 2 types of peppers that we are growing. The first 6 plants will be candy apple hybrid peppers, and the next row of 6 will be emerald giant sweet peppers. I'm going to label them so that we know which they are when they come out.
Now we haven't put any water in here yet, because we may want to move this from one shelf to the other before we're done, but we will be putting water in them. Alright, so the next thing then that we're going to plant is tomatoes. And what we have here is we have 12 pepper plants. We only need 10. We have 12 tomato plants, and like I said, we only need 10, but we're actually going to plant 2 rows of different types of tomatoes. So that would be 6, 12, 18, 24 tomato plants. And the reason for that is when people see how nice these plants start growing, some of our friends, they come by, and I always give some tomato plants away every year, or some pepper plants if we have them.
The next section of plants that we are growing will be tomato. We will have, in the first 2 compartments here, a total of 12 would be the tomato super sauce hybrid, and the next 2 past that would be Rutgers tomatoes. So that would be a total of 24 tomato plants. The next ones we are going to plant will be cabbage plants. These are called Early Jersey Wakefield, and there will be 24 of these plants. Hopefully they will all do well. These seeds are round, and I think I got it in right smack in the middle. This one. Oh, that one didn't make that.
Those seeds they're round, pretty hard little balls, and they sort of run away from you if you're not careful.
In fact, it didn't want to go in the middle.
This is tedious. Sally's using a pair of soda tweezers there that you're using.
They're your normal tweezers that every lady has.
Yeah.
But they work well for this. So here we continue in this row.
Okay, so now that the cabbage seeds have been put in there, Sally's going to mark that. So we have little ponds that we made, and if you keep watching these videos, we're going to go through our whole thing of what we do, because since we started working together on this, it seems like it's going to be a lot easier and a lot better. So she's labeling the Early Jersey Wakefield cabbage, and then after that we have 2 more rows left over there. And what we're going to do is we're going to plant 12 broccoli plants. Now, we have learned to grow cabbage in water in the hydroponic setting, and they work out really good. We have a bunch of sauerkraut behind us actually that she's canned, and maybe I can show you a little glance of that. But we also know that we can grow broccoli in that same kind of a pond setup. So we're going to do the broccoli seeds now. So we put the broccoli, it works easier for us if we take them and dump them. You can see the seeds right in front of my finger there. So we put the broccoli seeds on the board, and then she'll go ahead and put them in there. It's the last 2 rows on the left. On the left, honey. Yeah, that's it. Yep, those 2.
I'm going here?
Yeah, you're going all the way over there. All the rest of them have cabbage in, remember?
Okay.
Alright, so go ahead and...
Okay, so this is broccoli de Cinco. I believe I'm pronouncing it correctly. And we will have 12 of those. So there's 2 rows with 6 in each. So therefore, we wind up having 12 broccoli plants. We truly love eating the broccoli that grows. It's even better than you can get in a store.
It does really have a good flavor to it, and it's also,
it's the freshest
it seems like it's more moist. Even the lettuce, when we plant lettuce, the lettuce, especially Butter Crunch, is so good compared to what you get in a store, because, you know, she comes over here with a little bowl, cuts off the lettuce, goes over, washes it, and immediately we eat it. So it's fantastic. Got enough seeds there?
Yes, more than enough. 2 more for this row. I don't think I skipped that one.
Well, put an extra one in if you think you skipped it.
It won't hurt. That would be the last one there.
What about the other corner?
I got that corner before.
Oh, okay.
When
All right,
I first started the row.
Now you can go ahead and put the tray up. So we'll put the tray up here. Yep.
Right there.
And then you'll label that.
And then I'll label it so I remember what I just planted.
Yeah.
And that would be...
Whoops. Go ahead.
2 seeds. A fancy name here. D-E.
Okay, so then once everything's labeled there, we'll take water, just plain water, and we'll wet the top of all of this and then fill the green tray with water up until where it touches the that black fiber that I showed you, that black cloth. So what we do here then, as far as the water goes, is just water every one of these things so that they'll hold the seed back, and we know for sure that it got water up into it. And then we'll fill the green container up.
You need more?
Yeah, I'm going to need more water. I'm not sure how much water these hold, but regardless, like you can see down in there, I'll fill it up to where I can see the water above that black felt a little bit, and then that's as far as I'll go.
I think it's right to the, including the felt, like a thin.
Yeah, just a thin layer on top of the felt.
Exactly, from what I remember. Do you want me to hold the camera?
Yeah, I'm alright. Okay, so you can see how much water's in there. It's just so that it goes onto that black plastic, or that black matting. Okay, and then all we do after that is just take and put the plastic cover on, and you're basically done.
It's a dome effect.
Yeah, it's a dome. So it's like a greenhouse effect. So now we have the daylights running, and that's, for all intents and purposes, we have just planted all of the plants that we need for in our greenhouse, like I said before. So it actually takes longer because you're trying to film this than it does if you just do it and get it done. So there's altogether, what do we have, 36, 6 times 6 is 36, there's 72 plants in there in that short amount of time. Okay, so now what Sally's doing there is we're going to plant another one of these planters, and what we'll be doing with that is we'll be planting 72 little lettuce plants. It's Bullseye wanting to come over here.
Well, he was here, now he wants to come back.
Yeah, well, he's staying over there. Alright, so anyway, we're going to plant 72 lettuce plants in here and then put the water in and stuff. Put a dome over top of that. We're ready to label it, and that's going to be the Simpson Elite. But any black seeded Simpson works well with this. And then what we do is we'll take those, and you'll see in the upcoming videos how we transplant them from the seedlings that grow in here into the ponds that'll give us continuous lettuce throughout the summertime.
Yes, as long as they are picked properly. You don't want to cut the plant down because you'll get nothing. What you do is just with scissors carefully cut the biggest leaves so that the others have a chance to grow.
So in other words, you're saying that to keep the plant growing all summer, you cut the biggest leaves off of it when you go to harvest.
Exactly.
Yeah. And since in the summer we eat a lot more lettuce than we do in the winter, that's why we're planting so many of these. Because we'll actually have lettuce growing in here plus in the greenhouse.
Oh, I need this down so I can put these in here.
Okay. And we'll give you some ideas of how the lettuce and things are growing, you know, and we'll make some short video clips as this stuff grows. But what I'd like you to do, if you're going to follow along with us and try to do what we're doing, is get yourself some of these Rubbermaid. And I recommend Rubbermaid because they're not as plasticky. They're more rubbery than what the like Walmart brand is, and they don't crack as easily. So this is a 32 quart container. Okay, these have to be washed. They've been in operation since last year. And then what you do is you take the lid that comes with these, and we cut 4 holes in there. Now you can actually put more holes in there if you want to hold the seed cups. It depends on the net cup that you have. Like you can see the net cup that we have here, they're fairly big, but they actually work pretty nice for picking up and moving lettuce to a different container if you want to or whatever. But you can also buy smaller net cups than that. The point is whatever size net cup you buy, okay, and by net cup we're saying, let me just show you a close-up. There's a bunch of holes in that, and we put stone media in it. The stone actually looks like this. Okay, you can buy this stone at Lowe's. I think it's called wash stone, but it's really not that clean. What I do is I take it, throw a bucket of it in a wheelbarrow and wash it better so there's not so much dirt in it. So we want clean stone. So then after you, anyway, before I get ahead of myself here, get yourself some of these containers and we'll cut some holes in like we did. And when the time comes, we'll show you what we do with that. And technically or typically, we also take the black plastic bags, lay that over the top to keep the sun off the water and not let it make algae. Then we'll cut wherever the holes are and stick the net cup down through there. So we'll show you that as we go. So for now, we're going to end this video with this, and hopefully it's not too long or too short and you got everything out of it you can. And guys, do not be afraid to ask questions. We love the comments. Sally and I both like answering them, and if we can help you with anything, just give a comment and let us know.
No question is silly or stupid, so just go ahead and ask it and we'll be more than happy to guide you.
Yeah, with what we know. Okay, bye guys. Shelf we use to put our canned goods and different odds and ends that we store up a little bit. So you got, and we're at the end of the season already, so there's potatoes, tomatoes. That's a sauce that my grandfather taught us to make to put on hot dogs. Just some regular canned goods. And then we have more tomato juice and tomato sauce. And we don't always cook the water out of the tomato. Sometimes we leave that in there because Sally makes a thin tomato sauce for different kinds of food. We have lots of sauerkraut, more tomatoes. We have peaches left over, sauerkraut there that she just made. And then there's apples that we canned last fall from the apples that we grew on our trees. Right, Bullseye? Guys, one last thing. The lights are on right now, okay? And they're onto this thing where you just flick one switch and everything goes out. So, just to let you know, in conjunction with Sally taking care of the chickens, she'll come in here in the morning, it's around 6:30, turn this light on, and then we'll shut it off at night around 8 o'clock after we put Bullseye to bed. And just so you know, this room is heated. It's about 65 in here, and that's like that all the time. So just so you know, you don't leave the lights on 24 hours a day. At least we don't. And that's how we go about doing this. And you'll see we'll get good results here, or we should shortly, unless there's something wrong with the seed. Okay? Bye. Guys, this weather is so insane. Last night it was 15. And right now, according to this thermometer, and you got to remember it's in the sun here, so probably around 48, I would say actually. But check this out. Oh, it's 100 degrees in there and 15% relative humidity. That is perfect for a couple hours of drying wood. It's a little low relative humidity, but it's not going to hurt this at all because it's not going to stay that way because every night it's getting very cold. A lot of snow's melting today, but the crazy thing is the temps are supposed to go back down into the teens every night this week. Wow, 100 degrees in there. Amazing.